Hey guys, Patrick Freeman here in Chongqing, China. I am actually in my apartment today and I would like to take you on a tour of what a Chinese home or apartment looks like. I've had a couple of questions through Facebook Messenger asking me what it's like, so I figured I'd give you a quick tour. And as we go through this tour, I'll point out some things that I have found very different from what you would find in a home in the United States. Also, some customs that are typical here in China are commonplace. And the first being is when you enter the front door, which is the front door here. By the way, all the apartments that I looked at, just about every single one of them, I guess had families or kids, and the kids stuck these stickers all over the doors, and they're all over the doors here in the house and the walls, and I'll show you that. But for some reason, they're big on stickers. I don't know why, but they're everywhere. So it's common practice when you walk into a Chinese home that you remove your shoes and you grab a pair of slippers, depending on what color you like, red, blue, and I've got several other colors, and you stick your shoes in here to keep them out of sight and of course keep the smell down a little bit. I have had to put some air freshener things in there to keep down the smell. Let's go to the kitchen. All right, so here's the kitchen. Turn on the light here. This is not a typical Chinese kitchen. I'm paying a little bit more for rent so I could get a little bit larger size. A lot of the Chinese kitchens that I viewed when viewing apartments were a lot smaller than this. They were actually very narrow, but this one was a little bit bigger, kind of had more of a Western feel to it, so this is why I went with it. Had the nice wood counters, gas stove. You'll notice that there is not an oven. So what I had to do in my first apartment is purchase one of these ovens to cook chicken with, pizza, or whatever I wanted to fix for lunch or dinner. One of the questions that I've had is, what's the water like? I don't know. I don't drink out of the sink. I would never drink out of the sink. I do have a water filtration system. I don't drink out of this one specifically right now because the filters need to be changed. It's been about 3 years. However, I do still use this water for cooking, for boiling. When I make my coffee, which is boiled, it kills off any bacteria that's in there. I haven't had any problems, haven't gotten sick from that, as far as I know. There's my rice cooker, which I haven't quite figured out how to use yet. Let me take you, and they have nice little storage here where you can put your chopsticks, your knives, even hang bananas here. This is kind of a small little patio that has my washer, which is a front-end load washer. In most Chinese homes, you don't see a dryer, although more and more people, as they're making more money, becoming more successful, they are adding the dryer to the top of a washer like this. So instead of drying my clothes, I put them on my hanger and put them up on these little little bars that you can see back there. Let them hang for 24 hours, and by that time it's all dry. Got a tankless water heater right there, which I really like. I've never had one before, but it's nice because you get unlimited hot water. Saves on electricity. Trying to see if there's anything else I've forgotten. Oh, one side note, so I've lived in 2 apartments. This is my second apartment. When you view apartments, you'll be surprised to find that most of them aren't really that clean. People just move out, and the demand is so high that people usually scoop up the apartments and don't worry about, they end up cleaning it up when they move in. So when I moved in, this was actually relatively clean. In the deal or the rental agreement, I had them bring in somebody to clean the apartment, but this is a grease trap right here at the bottom. This thing was about 1.5 inches deep of used vegetable oil that they cook with, and the walls were all oily, but they love cooking with oil, and if you ever moved into a home in China, you will find it all over the place. So it's beside the point. Let's go to the dining room. This is the dining room. I have all my studio stuff set up for the voiceovers that I do. I'm going to actually build out one of these rooms and make it a sound studio, so I haven't got around to that yet. Here's my refrigerator. Not your typical refrigerator that you would see, and the placement of it's kind of strange because there's really no plugs or room to put the refrigerator in the kitchen. You would think it would go in there, but it's out here. I'm not complaining because it's brand new and plenty of room to keep all my food, keep it fresh. And no, I didn't pick the furniture. The furniture was already here. Although I will say it's much nicer than the furniture in the other apartment. The other apartment, it was stained, it was nasty, but this was actually very clean. Kind of a French look, I guess. All the furniture was provided. If you've ever been to IKEA, it's very similar to the IKEA furniture. It's not like the highest grade quality, but it's something that sweetens the deal when you rent an apartment. If you walk in an apartment and it's got some decent furniture, it makes it more rentable. So the guy that owns this particular apartment had this stuff for maybe a year or two before I moved in. So it's relatively new and it's nice and it's comfortable. There is no central heating or central air conditioning. They have these individual units like this. This is the unit here in the living room, and the baby cranks out heat and it does crank out some cold. Some nice fixtures there throughout the house. There. All right, so let me take you to the first bedroom. This is the first bedroom. Pretty much self-explanatory. One thing I have to point out. These beds, I don't know if you heard it creak when I sat down, pretty much a box spring. This is what Chinese people sleep on, hard as a rock. In my bedroom, I bought a little pad. I'm actually gonna buy even a thicker pad, like a memory pad, and put it on there, but these beds are super hard. So if you ever visit China, I would recommend the hotel that you stay in, that you ask them what kind of bed, if they have a memory foam bed. If they have a memory foam bed, that's the hotel you probably wanna stay in. Most of the hotels, upper end hotels like the Sheraton, the Marriott, the Holiday Inn, they all have nice mattresses. But if you move here, you'll probably have to either buy a brand new mattress, stick it on the top of this box spring, or you'll have to buy some memory foam pads to make it a little more comfortable. Let's go to the other bedroom. This is the bedroom that you'll stay in if you come visit me, right here. Not too bad, you know, again, IKEA type cabinets and furniture, a little less room than you would see in a room in the United States. But this is your view right here. You got the view of the mountains, apartments just across here. In this one particular area, there are, in this one apartment community, there are 35,000 people that live in this one little area that I live in. This building is 35 stories. I'm on the 30th story, and so you think anywhere from 6 to 8 apartments per floor, and we calculated the number of buildings. We came up to like 40,000 people within one very small area. So you can see how they cram pack the Chinese into one area. And so if that'll be your room if you stay here, and this will be your bathroom. Oh yeah, baby, the squatty potty. I have 2 bathrooms, so don't worry. If you need to use the Western toilet, there's a small charge for it. But this is what a bathroom typically looks like here in China in an apartment. You'll notice there's a shower head and the toilet, and this is all sealed, self-contained, so there's no leakage. You can do a number 2, take a shower at the same time. You can kill 2 birds with 1 stone in this place. That's the thing I like about the Chinese, very efficient. The thing I don't like about this is when you get out, the floor is wet. So you have to have a second set of flip-flops or slippers that you keep out here so you can use those dry ones, and then when you go back in, you can use the wet ones. It kind of makes a little bit of an inconvenience, but if that's been like the worst thing about, you know, moving into an apartment like this is not having that. I will say having that separation. I will say the new apartments that I've looked at, I'm talking about like brand new apartments, they do have, they are beginning to have the partition, the glass partition for the shower, so the water doesn't get into, you know, near the sink that you would use and get all the floor all wet. So that's hopefully my next apartment in the next couple of years. All right, so I've shown you the 2 bedrooms. This is my bedroom. A little bit more room. This is the master bedroom. See, more stickers. Look, I love you, huh? They're so loving, and they're all over the wall too. Fortunately, you can peel them off, but this is not my place, so I'll just leave them there. Heating unit, AC unit in each, excuse me, in each bedroom. Nice fixtures. Again, you've got the IKEA cabinets, and this is my bed. You can see the pad is actually very thin. It's not enough, so I gotta go buy another one. It's really uncomfortable, but I've learned actually to sleep relatively well with it. Last but not least is my bathroom. Got the Western toilet. That's the one that I charge $5 US dollars to use if you come visit me. Again, the shower is just right there. Convenient access in case you have to go to the bathroom. But who uses the toilet when they're in the shower? Of course, if you do number 2, then you probably would. But number 1, I mean, it's right there. Yeah, I've digressed. My apologies. So that gives you an idea. Nice little heaters. Yeah, you can, those 2 heaters right there, you can get a suntan with those things. It gets really hot. Nice, actually genuine or real wooden floors. Guys, that's it. That is a tour of my place. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It went on a little bit too long, but I thought, you know, giving you some more details would give you a good idea of what it's like. To answer your question about the cost, I pay about $410 US dollars a month for this. If this house were in Dallas, downtown Austin, Boston, New York, Los Angeles, if you were renting it, it would easily be $1,500, $1,800 a month, easily, if not more than that, probably 2,000 plus. If you wanted to purchase an apartment like this, which is actually kind of difficult for foreigners to purchase, they can if you actually buy it outright, but then there's a lot of paperwork that goes into it. If you want to purchase this apartment, I know the owner bought it for 1.2 million yuan, which I believe is about, I'm trying to do the calculation, it's like $185,000 US. It's now worth about 1.4 million, and he just bought it a couple of years ago. This apartment complex is about 10 years old. We do live somewhat in earthquake territory, so these buildings are supposedly rated up to about an 8.5 earthquake. And I don't want to be here to find out whether it works. If it does, then you won't be hearing from me and you won't be getting any more videos. Let me show you one last thing. And if you have any questions, comments, whatever, please feel free to put them on, post them on Facebook or on YouTube when I put this up on YouTube. And I'll try to get back to you and answer your questions. But this is my view here of the area. Actually, if you've looked at my other videos, you can see the gold building with the 2 spires. That is the Sheraton, and I stayed just kind of to the right of that. That's a high school there, kind of like a boarding school. I think that's the dormitories there. Basketball court, football or soccer field. But this gives you an idea of what it looks like. Nice community. Rail station is right in between there, so I haven't used it yet. But that's my digs, people. Hope you've enjoyed it. Again, I wanted to show you what it's like, how different it is from the US. Again, if you have any more questions, feel free to post them in the comments section below. If you're watching this from YouTube, which you probably will be, if you could give us a like, thumbs up, subscribe to it, and last, if you could consider becoming a Patreon. There's a Patreon link below that'll take you to my Patreon account, and it will help continue funding these videos and more videos that we're going to be doing, kind of higher end videos like the ones that you've seen on YouTube. So consider becoming a Patreon and supporting my efforts here. Guys, I appreciate your time. I've enjoyed this. I hope you have too, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.